Namaste, angels. It's going to be a client reading. It's for one of my repeat clients, for both readings and energy healing, although I don't really remember any details about her union. I don't even remember their zodiac signs. I don't remember anything. And I probably could have looked through something, you know, some messages or something. Like I said, she's one of my clients. But nah, not really my style. You know, I like, you know, starting fresh. And I also think I don't do it for advertisement or anything, but at the same time, I also think that it helps to let people see. I mean, I put on my videos real psychic, and I like that to stand out, because I'm not just a, you know, card reader. There's a 10,000, you know, at least card readers on YouTube. I'm not one of them. I'm, you know, an actual psychic, and I am actually chosen to be one for this particular path, you know, so that's why I don't even get into all these other things. And I think it just, like, I was getting to the point where I think it shows that where I can go fresh. I'm not worried about, you know, getting information wrong. I'm not going to, you know, so I don't need to look up what anything was. I don't need anybody's name. I don't need anybody's anything when I read for them. You know, that's my gift that I'm, you know, humbled and honored to be blessed with. You know, it's all by grace. So I just, when I do a fresh reading for somebody and others see that, I tend not to get the recognition it necessarily deserves, but you know, they say, like, any attention is good. And I you know, I pretty much agree. I think it helps for people to see that it's always right, and that I am so confident that it will be, that I can go in knowing absolutely nothing about a person, not even their name, and do a reading that I'm confident enough to post on YouTube publicly, where the person could come and say, you know, that was horrible. That wasn't a reading for me at all. That didn't match my life at all. That never happens. That's never the case. If anybody does look like it, it's always some, you know, it's a hater. And ironically, the person, you know, to whom the reading belongs is typically on there commenting like, you know, WTF. How could you dislike my reading? It's an awesome reading. I totally resonate with it. You know, you don't even know me, and you're just, or the, you know, Queen of Swords, and you're disliking the reading. So that's just hate. So anyway, I think you get the point. I like doing it fresh, and I'm going to. So this will be an hour-long reading. I'll probably give her another 3 minutes on top of that, since I just stole some. I'm going to start with something else that I don't always do, but she saw me do it for another client, and I used to do it more readily, not only for individuals, but also for the collective. And I just, because I avoid and I stay away a lot of this quote unquote twin flame stuff, and people are just getting caught up with, you know, I'm a first tier, I'm a first phase, I'm a first wave, I'm a royal this. You're a royal asshole, really, if you get into all that kind of stuff. It's all ego. How can you think that you're a divine being meant to grace the planet with love and help to raise its vibration, if and to strip yourself of ego if you're walking around calling yourself, you know, a royal who's a what's it, and claiming to be, you know, the best of everything? That's ego at its finest. So that's why I steer clear of a lot of this stuff. And I'm talking about me, and this is my channel, and if you're watching me, you know, that's what the gist of it is. So, like, in a general sense, no judgment against anybody else, but you're not, you know, you're just not going to see that kind of stuff here. I just not, I am against it. However, I do agree that there are waves, and those waves, like everything else that's supposedly twin flame, is based not on, I mean, I can't say it's based not on twin flame, because what is twin flame? It's not even a real thing. It's of human design. But there is a real thing that is written about over and over again, many places, There have been archaeological finds describing the same, you know. So we have proof. I'm a science head, a math head. That's where my degrees are in, you know, my formal education. First biology and then accounting, twice over. I actually earned it in October and, you know, was sent it in around November, but I just walked, did the ceremonial part, my degree. But that's the way my head works, math and science. And so there's a theory of something. And then if there's enough evidence to prove it true beyond a reasonable doubt, then it is the truth. It remains the truth unless and until such time as when something comes along and disproves it. But in the meantime, if we have something that we consider true and thereby a fact, we no longer consider opinions. You know, those opinions would have to turn into theories and be tested and disprove the fact before we toss out fact and instead go with an opinion, right? So I know that what I am following and practicing and all of that, you know, again, no judgment against other people's beliefs, but I know that mine is real. I know it from a perspective and true, and I know it from a perspective of science, in addition to belief and, you know, an ideology and opinion. The science supports my belief. And so until it does no more, that's what I'm going with. And so, like I said, aligning with my beliefs and that of many of you, certainly those who watch me genuinely, not to, you know, try to copy me or steal or to hate, those who genuinely watch me, you know, we share beliefs, right? And so what those are, they align basically also with the scriptures. Speaking of the scriptures, when I say that, I don't only mean the Christian ones. And, you know, Eid Mubarak to everybody who's watching, because today is the 15th of June, and that means Ramadan ended yesterday. But if you're actually in the quote unquote Middle East, in Pakistan, the moon wasn't seen until the following day, similar to when Ramadan began. Ramadan began a day later, began on the 17th instead of the 16th of May, because the moon hadn't been seen. So it happened again. And so Eid is also pushed out a day. But Eid Mubarak, so everybody's watching. That means the fast is over and peace be upon you and all of that. So those scriptures, the Torah, which is the first of the scriptures, the Bible, the Quran, and then leaving the scriptures and referencing other historic, you know, documents, the Emerald tablets. Okay, that's an actual archaeological discovery. The Book of Enoch. There are other places where all this stuff is written, so it supports it. So rather than, you know, something that somebody channeled, with nothing against channeling, because I do the same, but rather than that's not supported by anything, there's no substantiating evidence or document. How about something that I myself tend to channel that does have substantiation to it? How about I follow that? So because I do, I can tell you that throughout these historical documents and pieces of evidence, there are written over and over and over again are times when 144,000 illumined beings and or the members of the elect and or members of the elect's ancestors are also specifically described, like the elect and their ancestors are sent out. It happens a few times. So usually there's 72,000 that go out first, 2 by 2. Then there's another 72,000 that go out 2 by 2. That's the illumined. And usually not close behind them is the rest of the elect. And again, some of the way it's written, some of the elect ancestors and descendants will also be invited along. So it's a total of like 650,000 people who are on this mission. Now, there are billions of people on the planet. I think it was 7.4 billion, the last I recall, people on the planet. And of those, I'm not saying that there's no other divine beings, but the kind that think like us and see what we see, there are around 650,000 of them. And that is why often people don't get you. It doesn't mean that they're not awakening also, that they're not conscious, that they're not quote unquote woke, you know, because obviously we see all the time that there are a lot of people that are. They still don't see that what you see and experience what you experience, because there's only a certain amount of people for this particular mission. And there are other missions, you know. Some people are meant to be soldiers. Some people are meant to be off the field, the nurses, the doctors. And, you know, it just translates that way on this journey too. Some people are meant to be out here on the battlefield like us, and some are not. So all that said, there are waves that I absolutely agree with. I just wanted to make the differentiation between the waves about which I'm about to talk, or I just spoke, and what I'm about to look at, and quote unquote twin flames, and again, royal, who's a what sits, and all that kind of stuff. All right, so all that said, I'm going to use the Ace of Summer, or water, Ace of Cups, the Two of Summer, Two of Cups, and the Three of Summer, Three of Cups, which represent love and emotion, to determine which wave in which my client is. I'm putting them in order now. 1, 2, 3. They're not going to stay like that, though. Here we go. Not the third, and not the second. Very nice. The first again. So the last client, I say again because the last client for whom I did this on film was also the first wave. All right, so now I'm going to take also the Ace of Summer, in addition to the Ace of Winter, the Ace of Spring, and the Ace of Autumn, and stick the 2 and 3 of Summer back in the deck arbitrarily. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I need this deck anymore for this reading. And these I'm going to use to determine, all of these will be things that we're guided to do on our journeys. Love. Learn a lesson. Teach a lesson, come into some sort of wisdom, logic, spread some sort of wisdom, logic, teach, create projects, products, things that are needed by people along the journey. And business in general. I'm going to look at the primary job. Each of us has a life purpose, right? And a soul purpose. But I want to look at their conjoined purpose, primary purpose, in addition to the fact that we're all here to love one another unconditionally, again, to elevate the level of love of the planet. What's addition to that, the couple's primary focus. not to teach on this journey, which is fine. And, well, not primarily at least. Of course, we're all going to gain wisdom and learn some lessons. So, but that's not the primary reason of why they were paired together. Not just to go into business either. And not to create or co-create, but to love. This is this couple's primary purpose together. So knowing these things can help us in going forward, especially when we're in times of separation, which are illusion, they're falsehoods. But knowing this sort of thing can help to keep one strong. So now I'm going to go to a spread from the perspective of the masculine, beginning with physical body. And I feel that there is something really to this physical body that's necessary, like changing your eating habits and or exercising. This needs to be increased. I don't know if somebody's overweight. That may be it. They may be overweight. Or at least feel so. And I think like the fact that you feel so is enough to make it like a real issue. That it's something that like your soul wants to address. Yeah. Yeah. Physical bodies. Yeah, there's some exercise that's necessary. So again, I'm not saying that you're not in shape or the masculine's not in shape. You both may very well be. I've never seen either of you, met either of you in person at all in any capacity, but that's what I just felt. Also, before I started this reading, I started singing Jill Scott, A Long Walk. Now, I know that song has meaning for me, or has had meaning for me. And not only is it just in general, aside from all this, just my regular 3D old self, one of my, most favorite songs, or a song that I like very much. But it was connected for me to a quote unquote karmic relationship of my own. But I didn't necessarily, it was right before your reading. It may have some meaning for you as well. And it can be connected to this physical body. The physical body just reminded me of it. Like the long walk, the walks could be a means of exercise. And at the same time, a means of connecting with the universe. Also, this would be connected to fire energy, this physical body card. Well, there we go. Opening to meditation. So like I was saying, also a means of connecting to the universe. I meant, basically meditation. And then here we go with that. Meditation. And more evidence of your Ace of Summer, sacred union, and the love and emotion that's connected here. Also, some of the meditation is to be toward this end. So you may want to do, is that 432 megahertz? We may want to do that, especially since that's what came to my mouth first, but that's not what I meant. That's not the one that equals love. Why am I having a mental block? It's 600 something. 623? Might be 623. I'm not positive. I'm having like a mental block. Look up the binaural tones, though, and the one that's connected to the heart and love and emotion. And that maybe, to what you want to listen. Meditation. See? Love. Told ya. I could feel that much. I just couldn't feel. And now we have the same colors as that were present in the physical body card, and it's still opposite this meditation. So this is just like another confirmation that there needs to be meditation on love and emotion and healing the heart chakra specifically. Meditation. and listening. So this can, of course, connected also to the healing and the meditation, at least, for one thing, can have multiple meanings, represents air signs for me, specifically, or most specifically Aquarius, but all the air signs, because, listening, communicating, that's what air signs are about. And I've been connected to also, of course, the need for meditation, and the fact that I brought up the binaural tones just from looking at the picture of a woman sitting, quote unquote, Indian style in a prayer pose. She wasn't necessarily listening to binaural tones or any tones. As a matter of fact, she wasn't. But I felt that that's what you needed to do. Some sort of, some sort of order. Not it's binaural tones. It's not even like guided meditation or whatever. That's what's coming through. But let's, if there's something else that you prefer to listen to, then do that as well. I'm just like letting you know what I'm picking up. All right, here goes the meditation yet again. Now opposite the listening. All right. And I just want to point out that after I had cut the cards, I opened them again and came to meditation again, right before I shuffled in my hand and came to this beautiful overall energy of moon tree, which is a representation of sacred marriage. So we're off to a really awesome start for this couple, seeing a lot of evidence of love. We've already seen the Ace of Summer, or chosen the Ace of Summer for them. Seen the Love card, the Sacred Union card, and now Moon Tree, which is a card of sacred marriage. Also, we are just pretty much fresh off of the energy of the new moon in Gemini, 22 degrees Gemini, master number 22, which of course equals 1111. And I received a download and then looked it up to verify that it was connected to also an eclipse. And I was moved to, I'm going to announce in the weekly reading a sale that I'm going to do connected to the new moon in Gemini, the summer solstice, and that little mini partial eclipse, and an eclipse that's to come in August, because I've just received a whole download about what's going on with the collective and what kind of healing we need, or the fact that we need healing and readings and all this stuff, and we got to sort of get it done if we're really, interested in putting the work into our unions, getting it done by August. So this energy very strong, and that partial eclipse was 11 degrees Gemini. So we had the new moon, 22 degrees Gemini, master number 22, and a partial eclipse minutes after it, solar eclipse, master number 11 degrees Gemini. Isn't that something? So divine feminine, the masculine about the feminine, about himself, the union as a whole, overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union, what he himself is willing to, the universe would have the two do, and the outcome. Feminine, miracle. So she needs to increase her faith, and maybe that's why I was made to just mention master number 22. Twos, not just about partnership and duality, but also very much so about faith, and like a reminder when we see the number 22, similar to when we see the number 11 or 1111, we have to watch our thoughts and our words and what we're speaking over our life, because we're manifesting. When we see the twos, we're in the process, or we're being reminded to have faith that those things are still coming, that we worked on manifesting so hard. The masculine about the feminine, the mystic. So it's more of this energy of air, but also water. This is sort of high priestess, this card for me. And again, most specifically of the air signs, Aquarius, but it could be any of those and also represent water. But even more importantly than that is that this card is about the need to pay close attention and actually listen to and follow up the guidance you receive from your intuition. So this will be the masculine saying to the feminine, basically, there's signs sending you messages, there's signs, there's synchronicities, You know, pay attention to that. Stop, and you can believe in the miracles and stop, you know, have some faith and stop like allowing illusion to get in the way of what's, you know, in front of what's real, basically. Masculine about himself, more of this air and water energy with balance. He's got these two blue and white cards right here in the center. Both of these cards also connected to him, right? This one is him about the feminine and this one him about himself. This card for me is connected also to the energy of like a temperance sort of card from the traditional tarot. Temperance, which is like karmic healing or healing from the universe, restoration, recovery, being made whole, being able to find balance or coming into balance in a really healthy and harmonious way, all of those things. And about the union, celebration. And you see like the sun coming out. I feel like this could be very much connected to what I just sort of mentioned, didn't really go into detail about, but basically now, the new moon in Gemini, the summer solstice, and an eclipse that comes on August 11th that I sort of downloaded the information about and then had to Google to see if it was really a thing, and it is really a thing. Again, I'll go more into detail in the general reading, and I'm going to make an announcement about a sale for, you know, energy healing and readings and all that kind of stuff because people need to get it in. But this is about that, I think. Like, you'll be part of that shift that I have felt and seen coming. Also, this card also represents always for me, like the spiritual nature, the sanctity of these unions. And then that's what's being celebrated, you know, more so than anything, because this dove I see very much like the Pentecostal dove. And the Pentecostal dove is about basically the elect and the illumined, right? Not just Jesus having been risen on Easter Sunday, but other quote unquote saints according to what's written, according to the scriptures. And those are ascended beings. That's like what we are. You know, we're not the first to do this. We're not reinventing the wheel, you know, none of that stuff. There are people that come before us, often other vibrations of ourself, of our own souls, that we are following and being elevated similarly in the way that they were. So this is a celebration of all of that. And again, I think specifically right now connected to this shift in August and the fact that you're going to be a part of it. Overall, Earth connection. So this is about the need to, again, meditate and simultaneously connect with the universe if you can. Maybe, again, take a long walk around the park after dark. If you're into that sort of thing, I am. And this will help to open up the flow of abundance in all forms. So love, material things, and financial. What would the masculine have you do toward the union? Boom, soulmate. And it's sitting here under the miracle. So it's like, again, fight the disbelief, fight the illusion, pay attention to the signs that you're being shown, pay attention to your own intuition, your own gut, what's your gut telling you, all of that. Follow that, and that's going to lead you always back to soulmate or the partnership. What's the masculine himself willing to do? Boom. And he's got another color scheme going. Like mirroring one another here, mirroring one another here. With tantric union. And this is another indication of not just the physical attraction, physical body, and connection, but like coming through in telepathy and dreams and, you know, on that quote unquote like 5D level, 5D communication. What will the universe have the two of you to do? And it's preparing you for this shift. And it's right atop this card where I felt, again, the August shift, that August 11th, eclipse, solar eclipse that's coming. That one's going to be full, I believe. Like the one we just had after the Gemini new moon was partial. You guys are going to be part of that gateway, and you know, in that shift, and the outcome. Golden path, remaining and continuing on the path toward ultimate healing and restoration, but not just of yourselves, again, of the planet, because you're part of this group. You're part of this group. You're part of this mission. You're one of these soldiers on the ground, boots on the ground. And this card reminds me, or always pretty much reminds me of the Yellow Brick Road, as I'm sure you probably know, and the Wizard of Oz. Because at the end of this golden path, again, is the healing. And the healing ray is the emerald ray. That's the ray of healing. And what the, Dorothy and the others were trying to reach at the end of the Yellow Brick Road was the Emerald City. So I've made that connection since the very first time I held this card up in my hand. Now from the perspective of the universe, and I did see right before, oh, here it is. I was going to say right before I started the reading, I saw twin flames sticking out, for like, it was like this. I was like, oh, okay. There's another message, but here it is. I just put my hand right on it and pulled it out of the deck. So twin flame, you were meant to see, but I'm beginning with otherwise with spiritual growth and opening to new love. New love. And the Ice King. Somebody, it's probably an air sign. I said I wasn't going to, look at the signs and get into that, but I've just seen a lot of evidence of air. This is more so. But this is also, we've seen air and water, actually, and this is a little bit of that, too, because it's going to be Scorpio, too. This guy is very much Martian to me, represents the planet Mars, and the Emperor, the energy of the Emperor, like Major Arcana card 4, which does represent also for me the planet Mars, ruler of Aries, so this can be an Aries, fire sign energy, and Scorpio, water. Also of the fire, Leo, with this lion sitting here. And then the fact that it's the Ice King and we're surrounded by all this snow and winter brings in all of the air signs. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Also Mars, currently in Aquarius and about to go retrograde in Aquarius next week. So that could have meaning as well. Ice King and brunette female. This for me is the quote unquote, represents a quote unquote karmic energy. And if it's an actual person, often a female, like a karmic female that's involved somehow. Somehow impactful. It doesn't have to necessarily be an actual person, though. It can just be an energy that is negative. And true gem. Again, somebody may be an air sign, perhaps specifically a Gemini. With Ice King opposite true gem, especially. The Ice King could be Mercury as well, ruler of Gemini. Mercury currently in Cancer. So it is, in fact, stirring up the energy of new love and love in general. And control. Somebody's being manipulated and or is a manipulator. You're trying to control the situation in this union. Overall energy is fun times, which I just heard summer. So maybe these fun times will occur over the summer. Divine couple. Recent past. Near future. Masculine's higher self. Blocks to the union. What the feminine can do here with the 2 cards for the masculine. What the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Travel. This can be can be literal, but I don't really necessarily feel that it is. For me, it's more about metaphoric movement and the need to revisit, as they say, one another and some circumstances, situations in your life, issues, just face things. And that is perhaps being brought on by retrograde too, with the plant, this plane. It's a matter of perspective, but it often looks to me like this plane is, going back somewhere, like it's traveling, it's headed back from where it came as opposed to forward. And so that can be connected to the retrogrades. At present, again, Mars is about to go into retrograde next week on the 26th, I think it is. But currently, Saturn is retrograde in Capricorn, which it rules. Pluto is retrograde in Saturn as well. Capricorn rather as well. Like Saturn is. Neptune is about to go into retrograde too in Pisces. And Jupiter is retrograde in Scorpio. All right, so all of those things, we know that retrogrades force us to, to go back. As the planets appear to be traveling backward, they pull our energy to sort of travel backward too, like this plane looks to be doing, and to revisit some issues. Recent past, here goes the Aquarius energy here, desire for freedom. So this is going to be all the activity with Uranus. There's been a lot of that in the recent past. I'm sure you've heard me speak of it in the general weekly readings. A lot of things going on with Uranus. So that we've been pushed into this thing where we're seeking freedom. Stronger and stronger over the past couple weeks, where again, there's been a lot of activity as of late with Uranus and the sign of Aquarius. The near future. Family, very nice. This can be you guys surrounding yourselves. Again, fun times, friends, family, maybe getting together. Could be barbecues and stuff, since I was feeling fun times in summer. Beach. The park, a long walk in the park after dark. But family is coming, like it doesn't have to be blood relations. It can be even close friends too. I feel this is just getting together with people and being happy, and sort of like letting go of your cares, or you having already let go of your cares. Now we can let our hair down and enjoy ourselves with friends and family. Masculine's higher self, wallflower. So he hasn't been doing this. He's been doing this, and this wallflower card, it presents itself like saying you've been given opportunities to, to jump in and, and join the rest of us on this thing called life. And if and when you get another one, I hope that you'll engage. Or as the song, the actual song that I feel every time I look at this card and pick up this card is, says like, if you get the chance to sit it out, you're just going to let life pass you by. You're going to sit it out, or to dance like these other people are doing. I hope you'll dance. As it relates to the zodiac, this card tends to represent the signs of Gemini, Scorpio, and Capricorn for me, or the energies of such. So you don't have to be one of those zodiacs, but again, those energies have been very heavy around us with, the fact that the sun is currently in Gemini right now. We just had the Gemini new moon. Again, Jupiter is retrograde in Scorpio, and there are two planets, Pluto and Saturn, both retrograde in Capricorn. So, those three zodiac signs, the energy of them very, very strong and sort of controlling a lot of what we do right now. Also, when I had looked up to confirm what I felt about the little partial eclipse, I read something about the fact that it was 11 degrees Gemini, that if in the placement of the new moon, which I said I was going to talk about, and I think I did talk about a little bit on the general reading this week, given the placement, if we have one of the planets or one of the energies of the fixed signs within 11 degrees on our natal chart, then we, those who do, will be like receive the strongest benefit of, you know, these new opportunities that the solar eclipse brings and the new moon brings. So the fixed signs are, again, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. Anyway, blocks to the union. Children. Interesting. And it's crossing this family. So there's like another party. There's two parties of three here. And these can be actual children, but I think even if they are, that's not the main message. And I don't even necessarily feel that they are, to be honest. This is like, the block is like an unwillingness to dance, basically, to engage and to embark upon a new beginning. You know, just like missing out, just letting life just keep continuing to pass you by. Not taking advantage of what's out there for you, and not being willing to like take the risk and like to like engage. It's like the energy of sort of like the Empress. You know, like I'm being gifted with new fertile energy, but you got to use it, you know, otherwise it just expends itself. It just dissipates, you know, if you decide to sit it out instead. Anyway, what can the feminine do here? The feminine's got this energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius, and you know, you're guided to. That's what it was. Oh, you know what? This just reminded me. It wasn't the fixed signs. There was something about the fixed signs that I read, but the people that were going to benefit the most by this energy of 11 degrees Gemini were the mutable signs, not the fixed signs. Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces. Anyway, this just reminded me because it represents the planet Jupiter and the energy of Sagittarius for me. And so when it says that this is what you can do, you're in a place right now where, you know, we got to sort of be mindful of karma, but also in a positive sense, like, you know, getting back to your need to, you know, have faith and continued faith and not giving up and believing in miracles and stuff like that. Jupiter is the planet of, they say luck. I say karma because I don't believe in luck, and expansion and growth. And so that's through what you're going. And it's sort of what you can do here is to allow for that and also like stay on the right side of it. Like just remember that a lot of these things are karmic based. So when presented with different situations, watch your response, you know, and I'm not saying to be calculated and fake or anything like that, but you know, reaction is everything. Our reaction is really what sort of determines the outcome of a situation. Not necessarily what initiated the situation or the circumstance. It's how a person reacts to it that controls the situation, basically. So that's what you're guided here to do. Like, just, you're in control. And you can choose to do the right thing and stay on the right side of Jupiter, or go left, as they say. What can the masculine do? He's got two things here. Well, now I just felt that there could be an actual child. I don't know, I still don't really feel like children like running around me or anything like that. But with, Yeah, I still feel, even if there's a child involved, that this is more so about the energy of newness that comes again, or came again, with the Gemini new moon, and also the partial solar eclipse. Solar eclipses tend to be about new beginnings as well, whereas similar to the fact that new moons are, lunar eclipses are about endings, similar to the fact that full moons are about endings too. So these are both new, and this is like giving birth to something new, youth and new energy. And now we have the young male. We got more of this mirroring, the young male mirroring the young female, and this guidance to not waste, but to use the energy of the mutable signs. Sort of gifted to us by Gemini and Gemini's rulers, the Empress, Venus, and Mercury. Further advice from the universe. Passion. So this brings in back again the energy of the fire signs and of creativity and pursuit of that and whom which we love. Past love. Okay, a situation involving family. I still don't want to say necessarily a child. I just don't, this doesn't feel strong enough. Although that doesn't mean that it's not present. It's just not like like a focus I'm being drawn to. But a situation involving a child and maybe a past love can come up, or this can be your place in the world too, as children. The masculine as somebody's son, you as somebody's daughter, or even sibling, and relation to that, because I've also been feeling a lot of this sort of family, both direct and indirect, imposition upon the unions, and like interruption from family, like family getting in the way. For more clarity, we'll keep building upon the picture. I'm going to the Angel Tarot, beginning with the King of Air, who is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic, and is also perhaps Mercury or Venus, or one of the signs which they rule, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or somebody likened to those traits or attributes. Speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, and balance mental and emotional considerations. And opening to Ego, which represents the sign of Capricorn, yet again. So this energy coming up again. It's the devil in the traditional tarot, Major Arcana card 15. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. King of Air, and the Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. So this is the energy that was coming up. I said of creativity, of new ideas, new things, birth. So more Empress than anything than child, or anything else. Here it is again, this opportunity. King of Air. And the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Also, to bring it back to the last spread, it was the masculine who was represented by that card, Wallflower, that I said represents for me Gemini, Capricorn, or Scorpio, and is about leaping at the opportunity, engaging, or sitting it out and allowing an opportunity to pass you by. So it makes a lot of sense that also the devil, which also again represents the sign of Capricorn, would show up and say, like, opposite the Ace of Wands, and say, here's an opportunity again, but we can sit it out and be stuck, or convince ourselves that we're stuck. We can allow our fear or our ego to tell us that we can't take this opportunity, whether it's because we have children or family or whatever. We can make up some reason why we can't jump on an opportunity, or we can face the illusion that that's us putting, our obstacles in our own way and push them out and then jump at it. Anyway, Two of Water here opposite the King of Air. This can be connected to perhaps Mercury in Cancer. Two of Water. And the Eight of Fire, events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. So the Eight of Fire, this 8 could be representative again of August. These two cards opposite one another can be representative of the solar eclipse that's to come, August 11th. 2 is an 11 as well. This energy of fire opposite water could be like the Mars energy too, or the Jupiter in Scorpio energy as well. And the Eight of Fire or Eight of Wands in most decks tends to remind me of Cupid's arrows being hurled at somebody. So it is normally for me not just about movement behind the scenes, but often movement behind the scenes, specifically in the area of love and romance, as just turned up for you opposite the Two of Water. And now we have the Page of Water sticking up, which is about an offer of love. And there's that Ace again being shown to us, even though there's several cards here. They moved out of the way so we can reveal the Ace yet again. The Page of Water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase, and there are heightened psychic abilities. The Page of Water is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio typically. And speaking of Cancer, I've come to the Chariot with Archangel Metatron, Major Arcana card 7. An important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower. Also public recognition. This, similar to the Eight of Wands, is about movement, but even more than that, it can be about moving. It can be about victory. It's a major card of victory. Travel, metaphorical and literal. Modes of transportation on which to do that travel. Planes, trains, automobiles, all those things can be possible and applicable here. Speaking of victory, your overall energy is the Six of Fire, which is also a card of victory. In fact, it even says it down here. Victory! Good news is on its way. Public recognition or award. So very similar to that energy of the Chariot. Although this is fire energy, and of course the Chariot is water. Again, it represents the sign of Cancer. And the Chariot is major arcana, and this is minor. But they're both about victory. Also, I have to tell you that as I was shuffling in my hand, Major Arcana card 11 jumped out. And that's also fire energy. Major Arcana card 11 is strength in the traditional tarot and represents the sign of Leo. So it's also more fire energy. And August 11th will in fact be during the time of Leo. Yes. Because my sun is the first day of Virgo, which some consider the last day of Leo, August 22nd. So August 11th is definitely during the sign of Leo. So that, I believe that means something here again for you, having to do with that shift, the fact that that card jumped out. All right. Crown in the masculine, the dreamer with Archangel Metatron, a leap of faith, follow your dreams. that leads to unexpected opportunities. The dreamer represents for me the planet Mercury, which rules both Gemini and Virgo. Just talking about Virgo, we're talking about the month of August. But of course, we've been talking about Gemini the whole time. And major arcana card 0 is the Fool in the traditional tarot, all about a leap of faith. So I've been talking about that the whole time I've been doing this reading for you guys too. Sitting it out, missing an opportunity, as opposed to leaping, pretending or calling ourselves stuck and convincing ourselves that we're stuck and we have no choices, or leaping. And it's falling on the right side, I think, because it's been the masculine thus far for whom I've felt, and we've seen that energy, and now this is crowning him. Surrounding the 5 of Air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. The 5 of Air is a card of conflict and drama. And by my feeling, it's often, something in which we had a hand, whether inadvertent, it doesn't have to even be malicious that we did something on purpose. It can be inadvertent, but we brought, some foolishness upon ourselves by our actions or our reaction to something. And also, as opposed to how I tend to feel about the 5 of Wands, that's normally about drama with close friends and or family. If it's not an internal struggle, the 5 of Air can be with anybody. It's just like conflict in general. You get into an argument with somebody at the store, somebody steps on your foot in the sidewalk, like all that kind of stuff. But it's still things that we can otherwise avoid. If it's not actual drama, like he said, she said, it can be that too, because air signs again represent communication. This can be about, talking shit, and we end up in the middle of some foolishness. At the root, or in the masculine subconscious, the King of Fire, who's motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, 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 and communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire represents that Leo, maybe Sagittarius or Aries, maybe even a Scorpio, with both Aries and Mars, Aries and Scorpio rather, being ruled by Mars. Crowning the feminine, wow. It's that major arcana card Strength that I was just talking about. 11, which represents the sign of Leo, and it's mirroring the masculine king. So maybe it's the Leo energy that's coming through here. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Surrounding the feminine, the Page of Water is also back. The Page of Water that was sticking up a moment ago, I said was an offer of love. Page of Water is intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Also, there are heightened psychic abilities. The Page of Water tends to be a Pisces for me if it's an actual person, but can be a Cancer or a Scorpio or anyone likened to those traits or attributes, or making or receiving an offer of love. In the feminine, very nice. Subconscious is the 6 of Water. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. So this 6 would be equivalent to the 3 and the 3 that we saw in the last spread, and then can therefore be connected to issues regarding children. But also, again, this can be you as the children. It's your past that you're revisiting with the energies of the retrograde. You're having to take a look at things from your past and deal with situations. The 6 of Water, also a soulmate card, a past life relationship card for me. Crownings, the 7 of Water, a complex decision, the need to do research. Stop procrastinating. The 7 of Water represents the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. Again, Neptune, soon to go retrograde itself. All these cup cards in general can represent children too. When I see the 7 of Water, a lot of times I feel it. But the 7 of Water also is about that illusion that I keep talking to, and falsehoods, and the need to be honest with ourselves, and to stop looking at things through rose-colored glasses, or worse, something negative, and look at things for what they are and as they are, and then make our decisions based on real, tangible information, not just, you know, silly notions and whatnot. At the root, 8 of fire also back. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. This is communication. This can be the offer of love coming through in the form of some sort of communication. At the heart of the matter, speaking of communication, it's the King of Air, who's brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and seek out a balance, rather, mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and right now could be representing also Mercury in Cancer or Venus in Leo. In addition to that, let's further clarify with Doreen Virtue, Romance Angels, beginning with keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations, and opening to getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Getting to know each other and separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. This could be something that's coming up, but I don't necessarily feel that I feel like it's something that happened already. And again, there's now you have to be sort of brought back together, like to revisit something. And there's a time now for the apologies and the forgiveness and the compassion, unless we sit it out and miss the opportunity. Opening to deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship, and it can be, you know, one of you in relation to how you feel is what I'm getting first. That's why the King of Air, I think, is showing up here in the middle. Speak your mind with confidence. This is about being honest. Separation. And opening to calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Separation. I'll go one more. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Finances and career. And calling in your soulmate is back. Overall energy is trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. That's kind of what the strength card means too, or at least that's one meaning for it. Like, be strong, have faith. It's major arcana card 11, but 11s are 2s, and 2s represent faith. Atop the dreamer or the fool for the masculine. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So he's about to be presented again with an opportunity to take a leap or not. Top the 5 of air in this conflict. I think he is conflicted himself because he's got this chemistry with which he doesn't really necessarily know what to do with it. But you can't fight it nonetheless. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. That's probably what the deception was about too. Like lying to yourself, kidding yourself. Top the King of Fire. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And I think for the masculine, this means both. Release your ex, EX. I do feel that there is somebody that could be released, you know, some sort of third party, but also it's crossing where that King of Air is. And so that's about expression and communication too. And I think there's a need for him to do that as well. And like speak with honesty and confidence. A top strength is wedding. This situation involves marriage, that sacred marriage that we saw earlier on. Not a mistake, it's sitting here atop an 11 too. Atop the Page of Water, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. This again represents the sanctity of the situation, similar to the dove, the card celebration with the Pentecostal like dove atop it. Atop the 6 of Water, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. There's a new opportunity with a past life relationship or soulmate coming up to you. Atop the 7 of water, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept help and support from others. This may be people, and it could be those friends and family that I felt surrounding you guys before. People that are instrumental in getting you guys back together. I don't know if you have any mutual friends, but somebody isn't necessarily going to be on purpose, but somebody or some bodies, a few, may be responsible for the two of you getting back together and being in a place where you can communicate and, you know, reconcile, reunion. It's friends, like bringing it back together, like matchmaker. But I don't know if it's a intentional matchmaker or it just works out that way. At the root, atop the 8 of fire, and this movement that's going on behind the scenes is soulmate. We have this soulmate sitting here next to, again, the 6 of water, which also I said was about soulmate and the reconciliation. So this is with whom you're reconciling what's needed to occur is being initiated toward that end behind the scenes. So even if you don't see it and you don't feel like anything's happening, you know, it is. And at the heart of the matter, atop the King of Air, we're better for this card to fall than atop the King of Air, which is all about, again, communication, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So like I said, this card of honesty sitting here next to chemistry and atop the 5 of air, where I felt the masculine was lying to himself and he needed to be honest with himself. Honest with himself and dispel with whomever or whatever this third energy that's in his way is. Get rid of that, but also release his ex with some honest, confident communication as part of a heart-to-heart conversation. Further advice to the masculine: relationship. If you want to have a good relationship or better relationship with other people, friends, familial relationships, business relationships, romantic relationships, we first have to begin with the relationship we have with ourselves and learn to, again, be honest with ourselves, understand ourselves, know ourselves. What do we want? What do we not want? So we can make clear decisions, decide what we want so that it can come to us so we can manifest it. Like ourselves more, love ourselves more. And so when we do that, work on that, then that enables us later to, again, have better relationship with other people. You got to put yourself first. For you, dreams, again, you're getting these messages, you know, communications telepathically in a dream state, subconscious. Pay attention, write them down so you can revisit them later and be able to put things together. All of this through which the masculine is going, the purpose is spiritual growth, and he's on his way. It's part of the path. It's part of the journey. We all have to go through it. For you, Ice Queen, you may need to thaw out a little bit. But this also, again, can be representing, maybe specifically right now, Venus in Leo, where she is located. This Venus here, this female Ice Queen, sitting here with a tiger, you know, not a lion, but still, I think I just felt Venus in Leo with that. And that is going to bring about a lot of love and should help you to thaw out with the fire sign. For the masculine, we're going to move away from this 5 of air, which is funky, up to the 6. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. Somebody may have even taken a trip. So again, this is about movement. It can be physical travel. We've seen several cards of travel for you. The Chariot, the Travel card, and now the 6 of air. And they can all be literal or metaphoric or a little bit of both. But they're positive. In any case, they're positive and they're about movement. For For you, the moon, which represents the sign of Pisces, like this page of water does, and is about psychic, increased psychic awareness and intuition and gut feelings, all that stuff getting stronger. Pay attention to them. And this stuff is going on behind the scenes, again, that you might not be aware of. And you don't have to be aware of it. The universe doesn't need your help. It's got this part. Instead, what you need to do is release the fears that are holding you back, you know, even despite the fact that you don't know everything. And from the romance angels to the masculine deception, someone's wearing a false self-mask in this relationship. It's him. He's lying to himself here. And for you, separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but this shows up here to remind you again that it is an illusion. Anytime separation and reconciliation appear together, more so than just in general, I remind people that, you know, it's non-existent. These negate each other, you know, so it's like, what is separation? What is the reconciliation? If I release the fears and let go of the false facade of the whole thing, and I instead focus on positive and focus on love and bringing that in, bringing in the soulmate, then that's what I'm going to do, right? We attract on what we focus, positive or negative. So focus on the positive. I hope that you have enjoyed your reading and you find it helpful. Namaste, dear.